Hey everybody, it's Tony George along with ex-NFL quarterback, my good friend, host of the Sean Salisbury Show. It is Sean Salisbury. You can find him over there at iHeartRadio, follow him over there at Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Always a good follow. And of course, we're talking Thursday night football, one of the marquee games of the week this week, Sean. A battle of two quarterbacks that are going after the MVP this year, both playing like MVP quarterbacks between of course, Aaron Rodgers and Kyler Murray. And this is probably the best and most anticipated Thursday night football game of the last couple of years, Sean. And Thursdays, I don't know, you as a player in the NFL and, and up in Canada, obviously winning a Grey Cup, you spent a lot of time as a professional athlete. Were you dealing with these Thursday night games when you were playing? Those weren't in play yet. And boy, what is the turnaround time's got to be a little bit, I think it'd be discombobulating, Sean. Your thoughts on, these Thursday night games, how hard it is for a team to get up and get going for one of these.
Yeah, well, the Thanksgiving Day was the one we dealt with, right? And you looked at that to see if you're going to be home with family or get time off. But other than that, it wasn't the regular occurrence that you see now. And I think it works both ways. You like to get it done because you think in your mind, ooh, coach may give us 3 days off in the middle of a season if we take care of our business on Thursday night. The other side of it, yes, beat up. Just by the time you start to feel better, you got to play again. And in this type of game, you got to play again against two really good Super Bowl type teams. So you don't have much time. The other good part for your own team a lot of times is players come in and they realize what the playbook's going to be. You're not going to do a whole lot of expansion in a short week. You're going to do what you do base, add just a few things, and you got to be awfully disciplined because you got to put your hard day on a Wednesday together, your next day on a Thursday together, and then walk through in your Friday stuff. So you got to pin it all together earlier in the week, what normally would be a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in just a couple of days because you still got to travel if you're Green Bay and you still got to go through your walkthrough and get your rest. So it's abbreviated game plan. So you kind of execute what you do and understand what they do. The bummer is that it's a beatdown, Tony. It just is. And then while you get a bunch of time to recover going into it, you don't want bodies to beat up and not focused because a short week that could cost you. Now think about this. In December, both these teams are going to be staring at home field advantage in the playoffs with a chance. Green Bay is, and so is Arizona. So I'm a big believer there's must wins in October and in September. I do believe that. And this is huge for both of them for a lot of different reasons. But it's called organized chaos is what it is when you're preparing for a Thursday game, no doubt.
Yeah, and we had a big spread here. We've got some COVID news. Defensive coordinator Joe Barry's out. One of their lesser wide receivers is out for Green Bay, but the big one is Davante Adams. And we're going to find out, Sean, I guess, because at home right now, the line currently is 6.5 and the total 50.5. And so I guess my question to you is, as again, a guy that lived, eat, and breathed this for almost a decade of his life as a professional athlete, and looking at games, on ESPN, being their lead NFL analyst for years and years and years, I guess the question I pose to you is Green Bay more than Aaron Rodgers or Davante Adams? Because they're going to need to be more than that in this game here, Sean.
I'm so glad you asked that. And we haven't even discussed this. And I'm so glad because my thought before you even asked the question that I didn't know you were going to ask was simply this. Do we really believe that the Packers can't get it closer than that because of a receiver? And I'm not saying he's just an average receiver. This is one of the top 2 or 3 dudes in the league. I get that. But I also shifted back to number 12. The best quarterbacks I've ever seen from the time I've been playing it to covering it, watching it. No, now listen, over the course of a season, it would suck, Tony, right? You got to, oh my gosh, no Davante Adams. But for one game, you don't think Lazard and Aaron, they can elevate their play? I do. Now, is it easier for a defense to defend? Yes. You roll your coverage to the next best guy and go. But this isn't Joe Sixpack or Harry Hatchet-ass playing quarterback for Green Bay.
Yeah.
And how many times have we doubted this cat? You may doubt him for a second. Well, he doesn't want to be in Green Bay, or after the first game, they suck, right? This guy thrives on this stuff. Yep. Matter of fact, you might want to think the Green Bay go in there and win this game outright if you're smart. Arizona may be the better team, and I know Joe Barry and Devontae Adams, but I've seen great quarterbacks in these situations. It's like when you're sick or hurt, the Michael Jordan. You kind of take a little pressure off yourself, you let it rip, and before you know it, you've won a game. I'll be shocked if this game isn't a fourth quarter game with or without Devontae Adams. This guy's one of the best in the league, but the guy pulling the trigger, they are more than just Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. Now, take them both out, they're probably not a playoff team. But as long as I got the trigger man in there, I think he'll distribute the ball. I fully expect Green Bay to be in this as we roll down the stretch. If I'm betting it and I'm still looking hard at it, I think 6.5 points is too much for an Aaron Rodgers team. I do.
Okay, let me ask you another question. I'm just running down here. I think Aaron Jones at running back for Green Bay is one of the most undervalued running backs in the NFL.
No question.
Okay.
Agreed.
So get this stat. So if one of your key weapons is out, you're going to play to another strength. And in the NFL, and you've been around all these NFL coaches, and USC locker room, and if I was smart as these coaches, Sean, I wouldn't be doing this for a living. I'd be coaching football. But that being said, I think even LaFleur realizes one thing, and he has an advantage. If one of your key playmakers is out, you play to your other strength on, let's say, offensively. Let's just stick with the offense. Well, he has two strengths. Ones that you mentioned is Aaron Rodgers. The guy's a magician. I mean, he's one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. Number 2 is you play to the strength of your running game, and Arizona is second worst in the NFL at stopping the run. They're allowing 5 yards a carry. What do you think they're going to do when they're successful with that running game? Sean, you quarterback the Vikings, among others. You won a Grey Cup. If your running back is working, your play action pass is working. It doesn't give a rat's ass who's at wide receiver.
Yeah, and all you need for Aaron Rodgers, Tony, is a little space, man. You don't need huge windows that you do for the average quarterback. That guy it's like throwing 6 Russian cosmonauts at a micrometer. I have no idea what that means, but I know it's accurate and explosive. Okay. That's what I do know about that. And that's Aaron Rodgers for you.
Right.
So I fully expect them to do. Think about this, Tony. Drew Brees gone. Michael Thomas been hurt, right, in New Orleans. Have you watched that dude in the backfield, number 41, play this year, Alvin Kamara? Rain, shine, snow, it doesn't matter. Indoor, outdoor, he's elevated. 30 touches last against Seattle. Elevated his play. Arizona's spectacular. Arizona should win the game. They're at home. They've got more weapons available to them. But come on now. At some point, Arizona's not going to play their best game. I don't know when that is. It may not be this week. But I think Kyler and Aaron both thrive on this moment that they're going to be the only team playing on Thursday night. No World Series. It's their show. And that seems like a low number for me, too, in the points. Tony, for me, it does. It's a little bit low. Fast track indoors in Arizona. But I'll be shocked if Green Bay's had their one beatdown, embarrassing game. I'll be shocked if they get blown out of this game, regardless of if Devontae's on. Hell, I'll even tell you this. If Aaron Jones wasn't playing, I would think that Aaron Rodgers can keep them in this game. That's how good I think he is. And Kyler's an MVP guy, too. There you go. Yeah. I'll take Green Bay in this one.
He's Sean Salisbury. He likes the Green Bay Packers. I would lean a little bit over the 50.5. I'm still debating on a side pick on this game for my premium card for my clients. But one thing about it, I think the defensive secondary. Now, if you look at Green Bay's schedule, it hasn't been, titans of the industry they played yet. And I think that Murray, especially we saw what Zach Ertz could do last week. He had the longest touchdown pass of his career, and he's had a pretty stellar career there at Philadelphia. So that's saying something. So adding him to the arsenal makes him scary. Now we have to worry when we talk about Devontae Adams. Don't forget, Bernard Hopkins is nursing a hamstring, and that is a bothersome injury. And even if he is available for the game and wants to play, when you got a sore hammy, as you know, Sean, that limits your mobility a little bit and takes away a little bit of the edge on the speed, and in his case, a vertical leap. which is one of his strongest strengths. He's able to get up there, 37 inches off the ground and make
Right.
one-arm catches and stuff with a bad hammy. But I do think that Arizona will exploit what I think is a weak secondary for Green Bay, and there will be some points put up here. And I don't have any doubt that Aaron Rodgers and company and the players he has available will also be able to trade punches here. I think it's going to be a hell of a football game. It might be the best football game of the entire weekend, and it's played on Thursday here. So Sean's going with the Packers. I lean over slightly, ever so slightly in this one. So be sure and get over to Docs. Check out the free $60 for you. Check out our college football play this week as well between Mr. Quarterback and myself, and catch Sean each and every day. He's got a lot to talk about on the Sean Salisbury Show because he's based out of Houston, and there's a little something down there going on called the World Series. So Sean's going to have a lot of input on that, and as well as his callers, but he covers everything nationally. Find him at iHeartRadio with the best sports talk show in the country, the Sean Salisbury Show. Thanks for tuning in, folks.